Hello and welcome to our monthly live Yoga with Melissa class. It is just past, it's almost 10 to the hour, so we've got about 12 minutes just to spend some time together before we start the official restorative yoga class today. We're going to be doing a restorative yoga class for highly sensitive people that's going to focus on rest today. And I'm just going to remind Tim that you wanted to record this on the... Okay.
I think that makes most sense.
I'll try to remember to remind you again later. So just, okay, let us know how the audio is, if you can hear me okay, and also how the video is. And say hello. Let us know where you're joining us from in the world. And as I said, we've got a few minutes before we start. So if you have any comments or questions, then let me know. And we can take those before the top of the hour. Also, I put out a new video yesterday letting you know what's coming up in June. So that's available on the channel. If you've seen that, you can let me know and let me know your thoughts on that. I have some questions here that I'm going to answer before the start of the hour as I take your questions and comments and say hello to you at the start of the hour too before we start our restorative yoga class for highly sensitive people. It's a gorgeous day here in Victoria, BC. The sky is blue, and Tim and I are super looking forward to, we're going caving tomorrow. There's a lot of caves actually here on Vancouver Island, and we did a lot of waterfalls for a while, and both of us, well actually me, I can't believe I'm doing this because I actually get quite claustrophobic. So, but geography, the geology, what the structure of them, they're so beautiful. So we're going to go do that together tomorrow. It's about a 2.5 hour drive from here where we're going from Victoria. And we had to book tours ahead of time for it. And I think we're going to have to wear rubber boots and rubber gloves and everything because there's a lot of water in them. There are different tours. We decided to book a tour where we weren't going to have to do a lot of rope climbing, and also the squeezing through small spaces sort of scared Tim off a little bit too. And it scared me a bit too because, again, the claustrophobia part thing. So that part, we decided to go with a tour that was walking because I thought maybe less small spaces, and Tim was a little nervous he might not be able to squeeze through all the small spaces. So let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you've ever been caving before, and tell me if it's okay if you get a little claustrophobic. So that's what's up for us tomorrow. And let me know what plans you have for the weekend too. If maybe, pardon? Okay, so first question I've got here. June 1st. I didn't say that.
No.
June 1st tomorrow. It's the last day of the month. We always have our restorative yoga class on the final Friday of the month. So how's the sound in the video? We're doing okay for that?
Yeah, I think one or two people said it was good.
Good. Great.
You want to say hello to a few names?
Yeah, let's say hello to a few people.
Hello, Trudy.
Hi, Trudy.
Viviana.
Hi, Viviana.
We've got Tanya.
Hi, Tanya.
And, yeah, you know what we'll do here?
Tanya's a member.
Yeah, Tatiana, right?
Yep. She's a very helpful member, actually. She's we run courses, and in our morning course, we run them in 2 time slots to make sure that we get all the time zones in the world. So one of the time zones is really better for people who live in Europe and North America, and then the other time zone is good for people who live in Australia and then who live also in North America. The North American people are lucky. And Tatiana is what we call our protector mandala for the morning class. And what she does is she holds the space so that the teachings can come through freely, and just make sure that if there's any loud noises or disruptions, she just makes sure that that gets looked after so that the class can continue without interruption. So thank you, Tatiana. We appreciate your service in our community. She's a very dedicated student as well. Elka, hello Elka, thanks for joining us.
Willkommen, Freeberg from Germany.
Willkommen in Germany.
No,
Freeburg?
Willkommen.
Willkommen.
Welcome.
Oh, welcome. Tim's dad is seriously taking German. He's studying German, and he meets with somebody once a week to practice his German on Skype. So he reads German newspapers every day. This is his thing right now. So, not right now. He's been doing it like for a year, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he loves it. He's just obsessed with it. So every time we talk to him, I say something in German to me. And he does. And I can usually kind of follow him, what he's saying, because my undergrad was in music. So I had to take one semester of German because there are a lot of German composers. So I only remember one thing, though.
Go ahead.
Es regnet in Strömen. Which is not doing today. I don't know why that phrase just that one stuck. It's raining cats and dogs. It's raining really hard. So, wow, we're just having a fun talk today. Any questions or comments that could elevate this conversation?
No.
No. Okay. I have a question here. Somebody asked me, how did you feel after your first yoga class? So the first yoga class that I took was Tim was taking jiu-jitsu at the time, and there was a woman that was offering classes at the dojo. And it was the dojos are just kind of like, they have the carpet, and it was like really, I don't know if you've ever been in dojos, but they always smell like stinky feet and sweat. So we went in there and we did our yoga, and it was like we were doing all this deep breathing, and I just remember it smelled so bad. But I remember throughout the class that I recognized that I was getting cleansed really deeply because I had to pee so badly. I'd never peed like that afterwards, like just a real flush of the kidneys. And the other thing that I really noticed was that I had relaxed, and the way I recognized how much I had relaxed was that my voice had deepened by a couple of octaves. So that was my first experience of yoga. That teacher, she was incredible. I think she'd been to India, and she really knew what she was doing. So it was a really good experience of yoga. I have no idea where she was now. She really knew her nutrition well too. Do you remember her? Yeah, I don't remember her name or anything. But she was really good. No, you should have. It was good that you were doing jiu-jitsu then. That was good. Yeah. Somebody else asked me, why did you decide to start teaching yoga? So at the time, I was teaching fitness classes. Tim and I, it was back when we first got married. So this is over 20 years ago now, close to 25 years ago. We got married in 1996. And I started taking on Tim's lifestyle habits. Also, I moved from a small city where I walked everywhere to a super big city of Toronto where it just was no longer possible. Also, we moved into the suburbs in a big city, and it was just no longer possible to walk everywhere. So, and then we were working these really long days and eating out dinners. And yeah, we also, when we first got married, our apartment was under renovations, and also the place where we worked were under renovations, and we were just eating out a lot. And so I put on a lot of weight, and Tim put on a lot of weight too. And so we decided to get a personal trainer, and we were working out a lot. And so that's why I started to do yoga. I thought I'd stretch once a week, and that was all it was at the beginning. And also then I started teaching fitness. My personal trainer said, why don't you teach fitness? Because I was going to all these fitness classes, and I really loved them. It was something that I had been thinking about for years, and I just kept telling myself, you don't have to, because I've always had the teacher archetype, from when I was little. For example, I have 3 younger sisters. When I came home from kindergarten, I would teach my sister's school, my sister that was closest in age to me, so that when I came home from school, I would teach her everything I learned in kindergarten and grade 1. And when she went to school, she already knew everything from kindergarten and grade 1. And then so that she had to be advanced in school because she already knew everything. So I've always had that teacher archetype in me. So it was kind of natural to do the teaching the fitness thing. But the area where my strength was in the mind body. I wasn't really good at the fast stuff. I was good at it, but it was just clear my strength was in the mind body stuff. So at first I trained in Pilates, which I really love. I trained at Body Harmonics in Toronto. We've got 1 minute and we're going to start. And then I really just loved the yoga. And so eventually, as I could, because yoga training is just so expensive. It's ridiculously expensive and inaccessible. Like at least the Pilates training, I guess it was like divided into sections. And with yoga, it's just like all or nothing. You have to go all in and it's so expensive. Eventually I was able to find the resources to be able to do the yoga training, and I went and did it, and the rest is history. So that's that. Yep. We can get started. So.
Welcome to Renata.
Hello, Renata. Oh, I haven't seen Renata in a long time. It's nice that she can join the live classes.
Oh, ready from under.
Yeah, that's right. Renata?
I was thinking where's Renata, not ready.
Oh.
Okay. So let's think what we have to do with
Don't forget to press record.
That's right. So you asked if everybody's ready to go?
Okay, if everybody's ready to go, then we will get started. Hello and welcome to Yoga with Melissa. Today we're going to be doing a restorative yoga class for highly sensitive people. You're going to need all your props today, so whatever you have, just make sure you get out. We're going to be using a chair. I recommend a mat and a blanket on top of it, and a bolster, a second blanket, an eye pillow, blocks, and a strap. And we're going to get started right away with setting up your first restorative yoga pose. We're going to be doing long holds for this class so that you get lots of rest. You're going to take your bolster and prop something underneath it, not your blocks, because you're going to need your blocks underneath your shoulders. Put this at the very bottom of your mat. This is probably one of my most favorite restorative poses for renewing your energy. And then you're going to place 2 blocks underneath your shoulders, or you could put cushions here if you don't have enough props and you need to put a block underneath your bolster. And then you're going to put either a folded blanket, or you could put your eye pillow for underneath your forehead for a little extra padding. And then you're going to put your knees at the bottom of the bolster so your legs are on the top of the bolster and your shoulders are on the blocks. And then you're going to rest your forehead on the eye pillow, just so your nose has room to breathe. Okay. So over the last 2 weeks in the Yoga for Highly Sensitive People series, we've been focused on how highly sensitive people process more deeply, and how they become easily overstimulated. So as such, restorative yoga is the perfect practice that will give highly sensitive people the time to rest and digest. In a restorative yoga class, we use the props to fully support your body into completely relaxing so that our bodies can release accumulated tension. So props like eye pillows can reduce the amount of visual stimulus. Silence, which we'll be going into in a few minutes, reduces noise. And long, slow breathing gives you the space to recover from overstimulation. Now, the guiding principle of a restorative yoga class is that it creates release. Release from doing into being. In each restorative yoga pose, we're going to use the props, like here we're using the blocks and the bolsters and the floor to support your body fully so that you can release physical, mental, emotional, energetic, and spiritual tension. And once you're set up in each pose with the props and you're well supported, I'm going to invite you to go on an internal retreat facilitated by silence and the passing of time so that you can experience deep relaxation. So breathe into your low back here. And if your mind is busy, focus on releasing that mental busyness through the forehead, down and into the earth. Go back to breathing into your low back. And then take another deep breath. You're going to slowly make your way out of this pose. We're going to move slowly between poses, conserving our energy. And we're going to set up our next posture. So for this one, you're going to take your bolster and your blocks. You're going to need room for your head and your shoulders here at the side of the mat. And you can either put cushions or a folded blanket on top of your blocks here, or if you have two bolsters, you can use bolster. And then you're going to want your strap as well. And your eye pillow. And if you don't have an eye pillow, you can just take a piece of cloth or a little bit of blanket or the sleeve of your shirt and put that over your eyes. So here you're going to sit on top of your props. You're going to take your strap. You can either put it around your ankles or your legs, wherever feels most comfortable. And then you're going to tighten it. And this is just so that your legs stay on top of the bolsters. And then you're going to lie down on top so that your shoulders are off and your legs and your hips are on. So that you're in a supported shoulder stand or bridge, and then you can put your eye pillow over top of your eyes. So just make sure that the props are supporting your body fully. In a restorative class, you want to relax into the pose without exerting any physical effort to stay there. In that way, you can receive the pose rather than doing the pose. So there should be no effort here whatsoever. And once you make sure there's absolutely no effort, then I want you to just enter back into your internal retreat. Letting go of all physical tension, mental, emotional tension, just letting it sink down and into the earth, letting the props and the earth fully support you. Breathing into your low belly. Nothing to do, nowhere to be. Just notice how your nervous system is calming down the longer you stay in this pose. Okay, take a deep breath. We're going to very slowly come out of this pose, very gently. Take that eye pillow off. If it's bright where you are, open and close your eyes a few times to get used to the light again. Take your feet out of the binding. Bend your knees. Place your feet on the floor. Roll to your side. Just pause there for a moment. Okay, and then slowly make your way up. Just take a moment here to let your blood pressure equalize. Okay, for the next one, you are going to need your bolster again. You're going to need your chair. You're going to need a folded blanket or a meditation cushion to sit on. You're going to need a second folded blanket. You can put if you don't have a second folded blanket, you could use a strap. You can put your blocks off to the side. Pull your chair in. So you're just going to sit. We'll just take our time setting this up. You're going to sit on the edge of your cushion. And you're going to take your blanket, and essentially you're just going to, this is my new favorite thing to do because it's like swaddling yourself as an adult. But you're going to make yourself into a burrito, so you're just going to wrap your legs and tuck it around. It's very calming for your nervous system. So you swaddle yourself, you burrito your adult baby legs, and then you're going to fold forward. And remember here, this isn't about creating a stretch on the back of the legs. That's not what we're doing here. You're creating a resting position here for you just to rest. That's it. So find a position so you can rest. Let the props support you fully. So in restorative yoga, the aim is to release. So we're not looking for any kind of stretch along the backs of the legs here. We're using the props to support your body fully, so you can feel like you're floating on a cloud, or you feel like you have a deep sense of ease. If you have low back issues like slip discs or herniated discs, it's probably a good idea to maybe put the bolster or an extra rolled blanket underneath your knees, so your knees are bent in this pose, so you don't have a straight-legged forward fold. And breathe into your belly and your low back. Relax your jaw, soften your ankles. So just notice how your nervous system is calming down, becoming more restful, more calm, more steady. Take a deep breath. Slowly come to upright. And pause there. Okay, and just notice how your energy is being restored here and how it's also calm at the same time. And then we're going to put the chair away. You can unwrap your burrito legs. That's it for the chair. Okay, for the next pose, you're going to want to take a block, one on the high setting, one on the middle setting, and then put your bolster over it. If you have knee issues, you can lie on your back and do a recline twist instead, and put a bolster underneath your knees or between your knees instead. Otherwise, we're going to do a front lying twist here. And you could take this blanket as well and place it over your low back once we get going here. So hold that close by too. So we're going to take your hands on either side of the bolster, walk your knees over to the left side, lower your right hip down, and then you're going to lower your torso onto the bolster and lower your arms on the bolster. And then if you want, you can put the blanket over your low back. Okay, just a little extra weight. So each pose is an internal retreat. In the silence and the space, it facilitates your internal process. Breathe into your low back. And you're going to take a deep breath. And then you're going to move slowly with care. If you're on your back, you're going to bring your knees to the center. If you're doing the front lying twist, bring your knees back to the center as well. And then we'll walk our knees to the right side this time. Lower your hips down. Lengthen your spine long. And you can pull that blanket over your low back again. And lower down. So entering into your internal retreat here, giving yourself silence and space to go into your own internal process. Breathing into your low belly. And if your mind starts to become active, let that mental tension just drain out like pulling the plug on a bathtub. Come back to your breath. Take a deep breath. Very slowly, you're going to make your way out of this pose. And we'll put these props off to the side. If you have low back issues, you're going to place the bolster underneath your knees. If not, I'm going to get you to put it aside. Also put aside the blocks. For Savasana today, you're going to use the blanket. If you don't have a blanket, you could use a towel. We're going to do the burrito thing again. So you're going to take yourself and you're going to, this takes a little bit of doing. It's almost like you have to wrap yourself up in it. So you're going to wrap yourself up around your midsection. Tuck yourself all in. If you've got somebody else around, it's even better. And then once you're all tucked in, you're going to place your eye pillow over your eyes. And in a few minutes, I will get up and read you a poem. So allow yourself to rest here deeply. Feel the stability and the support and the extra security of the wrap here. Breathing into your low belly. So keep resting back in the Savasana. I'm going to sit up and read you a poem. This poem is called For Solitude by John O'Donohue from his book To Bless the Space Between Us. May you recognize in your life the presence, power, and light of your soul. May you realize that you are never alone, that your soul in its brightness and belonging connects you intimately with the rhythm of the universe. May you have respect for your individuality and difference. May you realize that the shape of your soul is unique, that you have a special destiny here, that behind the facade of your life there is something beautiful and eternal happening. May you learn to see yourself with the same delight, pride, and expectation with which God sees you in every moment. May you recognize in your life the presence, power, and light of your soul. May you realize that you are never alone, that your soul and its brightness and belonging connects you intimately with the rhythm of the universe. May you have respect for your individuality and difference. May you realize that the shape of your soul is unique, that you have a special destiny here, that behind the facade of your life there is something beautiful and eternal happening. May you learn to see yourself with the same delight, pride, and expectation with which God sees you in every moment. And as you continue to rest back in Savasana, I want to acknowledge that as highly sensitive people, you appreciate the quietness of your own company, and that in taking time in solitude in a restorative yoga class like this, that you're taking time to connect with your higher self. So gradually allow your breath to deepen. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Gradually open and close your eyes a few times to adjust to the light again. Bend your knees and roll to your side. Slowly make your way up to seated. We'll gather the fruits of our restoration in first to ourselves and then offer them out into the world of overdoing and overstimulation where it's so needed. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to the happiness and freedom for all. So give yourself a thumbs up for taking time out, for giving yourself an hour of rest from overstimulation, and I took an internal retreat today. In the comments. Thank you so much for joining us today for our live restorative class. I want to thank Anise and Anya for your donations. We really appreciate your support. They help us to be able to do this full time and to be able to put out classes like this as we've been doing for the last 10 years here on YouTube, and would love to continue to be able to do. It takes Tim and I, we do this full time, and it's a full-time job for both of us. So I'm sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. May your joy be as deep as our Pacific Ocean. May you be as strong as the old growth trees in our forest, as rooted as the old growth trees in our forest, and may you be as strong as our mountains. Om Shanti. Namaste. And we have some time now. If you'd like to stick around, I can answer any questions or comments that you might have about restorative yoga, highly sensitive people, any comments you might have, any insights you have from the class. Also, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel. We are getting super close to 50,000 subscribers, and we really appreciate all of you who are already subscribed. One of the things that I noticed the other day is that there are tons of videos out there that are for yin yoga, coming out regularly for yin yoga, but there are almost no regular releases of restorative yoga. So that is something that we do here on the channel. So one thing that I notice on YouTube is that there is just so much content. So when you find something that you like, it's hard to come back and find it again. So if you find a channel like this that's working for you, it's a really good idea to subscribe and push the bell so that it shows up in your feed, and so that you get reminded when I release contents. Because I do regularly release restorative classes, I also release yin classes, yin yang, and yoga nidra. So this style, I release a lot of classes that are very supportive for highly sensitive people. And that's also something that's not actually that common in the yoga world. The other thing that I've noticed, even when I have a video coming out on my other channel on Monday, even and it's on the 10 best yin classes in May of 2019. And I noticed even when I did, in order to find the 10 best ones, I did a lot of yin classes on YouTube over the last month. And even in the yin, I noticed a lot of yang languaging coming in, about doing more and being more and achieving more. And there's a lot of aggression even in the yin classes on YouTube. And so I think when you find a teacher I guess I can speak for myself. I think I offer a real yin space, a real restorative space, a space to renew, which is really very important for highly sensitive people. And when you find that in the YouTube yoga world, I think it's a really good idea to support it by subscribing and pressing the bell. And also it just helps the YouTube algorithm to know that you like that kind of thing and share it with other people too, so that they can put the videos in the suggested area too. So all of that to say that it just helps, and we appreciate your support with that so that other people can find us. Comments, questions?
Yeah, do you want to say
And
thank you, Margaret and Elka?
thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Alka, for being here. We appreciate your support. Thanks for practicing with us today. Thanks for taking the time out to rest today. I hope that the practice was a benefit to you.
Claudia and Carmina,
Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Carmina.
and Renata,
Thank you, Rennie.
Patrick's going to share it, thank you.
Thank you, Patrick, for sharing the class.
Donna Parks,
Thank you, Donna Parks, for being here today.
can you tell us, Renata would like to know if you can tell us anything about the next live class?
Yes, Rennie wants to know about the next class. It's going to be the last day of June, and it's going to be another restorative class. The reason, last Friday of June, yeah. The reason why we do restorative classes for the live classes is because they're inside, and I use a lot of props for them. And when we film outside, it's easier for us to not have to carry a lot of props around. So being able to film restorative classes inside, our props are all right here, and then we don't have to carry them all. So on the last Friday of the month of June, it's going to be a restorative class for highly sensitive people. Again, it's going to be self-care survival tips for highly sensitive people, and it may be the last class in the highly sensitive people series. So that's what's going to be happening the last Friday of June. It will also be the first day that Tim and Trinity and I are back from a week's vacation. We are going up island, way up island, 5 hours north of here. And so we will be well rested.
Off the grid, no cell.
Yeah, it's completely off the grid, no cell phone. So we're going to be really well rested after that. More questions, comments?
Question, good for after lifting weights, Patrick wants to know.
Patrick wants to know if it's good for after lifting weights. Any kind of rest, I would think, would be good for after lifting weights. So yes.
Elka wants to just mention that restorative in studios is rare.
Yeah, I think restorative is rare in studios. Maybe I don't know why. You know, it seems like in studios that in studios what happens is people. I think studio owners put classes out that get the most attendance because that gives them the most income. And so perhaps they're just not that well attended. And I think it's up to us as teachers, the people that are teachers, to make restorative yoga more attractive. It's a style of yoga that's certainly the most needed because I know that people come to my channel, the classes that are most watched are the sleep yoga classes, and the most searched for are the sleep yoga classes. So people are exhausted. So it's the class that's the most needed. So
Sandra really liked your teaching style today.
thank you, Sandra. I'm glad you liked it. Thanks for being with us. Hope you come back. You've probably been here before, though.
Oh, it is, yeah,
Okay, you're a regular. Thanks, Sandra.
Tanya says Toronto retreat today, and she's proud of the membership in the community.
Thanks, Tanya. Tanya says she likes being a member. We love our members. Got a special treat coming up for our members in the membership community in June. We're doing self-care for highly sensitive people. So that's going to be especially in the daily yoga connection. And then also I'm working on something really special for the leaders in our membership community. So something is in the works for them. They work hard for us. They do a lot of extra service for us in our membership community. So we're working on something behind the scenes for them.
Super. Well, I think we can
Okay, thank you everybody so much for being with us. It's always a delight to connect with you on the last Friday of every month. And we will see you next Friday. If you want to know what's coming up, there's a video that we just released yesterday that tells you all the classes for June. So go have a look at that. And then you can see what's going to be happening in June. And then that's it. Yeah. See you next Friday on the mat, and see you for our live class of the last day of the month. Namaste.